Good morning, everybody in Australia. Hello, hello. As you can see, this is not James Zhang. This is James Lenhart, the other James. He's the better looking one with the spiky hair. But I'm excited to come to you live this evening on the US side and on the Australian side. It is Saturday morning. We've got a lot of really amazing things going on worldwide throughout PartnerCo land, I call it, because again, right now there's about to be our final PXP is taking place this week in Japan. Some really cool things are being launched in Japan, and hopefully soon those will infiltrate the rest of the world. I see amazing leaders we have on here from Australia. And the goal of tonight and why we really wanted to put this together is if you don't know, we have a new Australia area manager. And whenever something like that happens, when you have a new manager come in, you go, I wonder what's going to happen. How are they going to address the country? What is their vision? Where did they come from? Why are they here? And that's hopefully what we're going to talk about tonight. And so I have Alana on here on the line with us, and she recently really partnered with PartnerCo on all levels, and she is leading the charge in Australia and New Zealand as the area manager. And so tonight we want to just have her on and just kind of ask her a few questions of, why PartnerCo, kind of the questions we all ask ourselves too. Why PartnerCo? Why now? All those fun things. But Alana, if you could kind of just start off and just share with us maybe your background first about, where do you come from? How'd you find PartnerCo? It's always a question we always ask each other, right? And then we can go from there.
Thank you, James. Thank you. And thank you to everyone that's jumped on. I've literally just come flying in from a swim. The water was absolutely beautiful and I couldn't miss it. So I live on the Gold Coast. It is divine here. I've only recently moved. I'm actually an Adelaide girl. So for those of you Australians on here, then you'll know that I've come from the south and now I've moved to the glorious Queensland sunny coast. So why did I join PartnerCo and how did I find PartnerCo? Well, do you know what? This all just happened out of nowhere. I have to be completely honest. And many of you will probably resonate with my story, which is I just happened to stumble across it one day. Somebody just happened to have the right conversation at the right time, and I was in the right mood and open to it. So that's how it all sort of came about. Yeah, it was one of those really interesting conversations that actually somebody in the field who I'd worked with previously had heard that the general manager had left from PartnerCo, and she thought of me straight away. And it was a really wonderful conversation that her and I had. And then it sort of just rolled from there. And I have to admit that the conversation that I went on to have with Katie, with Darren, and with John, and then subsequently with Lucy, it made me realize that first and foremost, it was the company for me. It was the kind of people that I wanted to surround myself with. It was the vision. It caught me. I had so many of my values aligned with so many of the executive team and overall with PartnerCo. So that was the first step. Then the second step was, well, send me the products, tell me all about it, tell me your vision of how fast you want to move with this company and how fast you want to go with Australia and New Zealand, because like I'm not here to kind of just sit on my hands and rest on my laurels and enjoy the ride. I want to make this exciting. So that's how it all came about. And my background, I have a degree in sales and marketing primarily. I've worked with some incredible brands and some incredible companies in marketing, in brand management, brands that many of you may be familiar with. Me, I have actually had a good time with Bailey's, Pimm's, Rusky, Captain Morgan, J&B, and then some wonderful brands like Penfolds, Saltrams, Wolf Blass. So I've worked with some incredible global brands. I've worked with global teams in marketing, in brand activation. I've had some incredible opportunities to travel the world and do some incredible activations at amazing locations like Hyde Park and cricket. We've done some amazing things at Adelaide Oval with Pims. In Sydney. I travelled Australia with the polo, and then I did all sorts of amazing things, primarily with Pims, and then JMB and Captain Morgan. Some of you that are familiar with that know that there's some amazing parties that go on with those brands as well. So, and then my world turned upside down because I actually moved into the world of homeopathy. Believe it or not, I went from wine and spirits into homeopathy and the world of natural health and wellness. And it was actually at a really good time in my life because it was a time that I was starting to think, okay, this is going to have an expiry date for me in terms of the world of alcohol and wine and all those luxurious things. And so it worked out perfectly for me. Again, it aligned with my personal values. So I worked with Brower, which many of you may know is Australia's largest homeopathic company, primarily in baby and children. And I worked on a complete resurgence on that brand from it was a 1970s privately owned company, and we took it nationally. We then moved it into New Zealand. We then opened up markets in Vietnam, in Thailand, we bought it in Hong Kong. We didn't quite get the blue hat requirement for China, but we worked out ways to move around that. And whilst doing that, I was also working. So I ran my own businesses. I had my own label out of Indonesia that I was working on. So that was a fashion label that I was working on. I also owned my own bricks and mortar stores in news agencies, gift stores, and toy stores. And I was doing all the buying internationally for that. Meanwhile, I then was looking for a great brand to use whilst I was training. I'm a triathlete and I just love being in the gym. So I was looking for a great brand. And at that point in time, I was introduced to the world of MLM. So I then started my own business in the field. I primarily I was introduced to the industry and not wanting to know anything about the industry. I didn't want to make money out of my friends. Many of you resonate with this. Like, I wasn't comfortable with the whole MLM world, but I knew that this brand had incredible products. So it started organically. It grew from there. And then I was contacted by one of Australia's largest companies in the multi-level marketing space to join in the corporate space. So they headhunted me into a director of sales and marketing role. And I was with them for 6.5 years. I finished up. I headed up their entire Australasian team as a general manager for them, and then I moved into a NASDAQ listed company, which many of you may be familiar with, American-based company again, all in the health and wellness space, all in multi-level marketing, and that's how today I joined PartnerCo. So I'd spoken to many companies, and this was the company I was actually coaching in the field, and I'd taken a break, and PartnerCo was for me. So here I am.
And that's amazing. I mean, I've been with the company for a little over 7 months, and the caliber of people that are attracted to this company, whether it's in the field or in corporate, like all of our corporate executive team is just amazing. I was on the phone with Katie earlier today, and we talked to Lucy all the time, and it's like, wow, like how does a company attract these kind of people? And now we have you, Alana, and like that is an incredible resume that is so applicable to what we do, because it's not just like, oh, it's network marketing experience. You have brand experience, and that's really what we're doing here at PartnerCo. Is we're building a multi-billion-dollar global brand to be a part of. Not a network marketing company, not a traditional wellness company, but it's a brand that people are going to know what this is. Like, we started rolling out the new PartnerCo brand, Collab, right? And that's going to be a brand that continues to roll out throughout the world with new products and rebranding of products and all these amazing things. And so I think a lot of people on this call, we're going to talk about too the events that are coming up, the roadshow, Connect next year, all that good stuff. We want to get to there. But let's talk a little bit about, like, when you come in, because again, you're looking to partner with brands. What
Mm.
was it about PartnerCo, or what when you first came in, you're like, okay, this is my first order of business, and here's where we want to focus on? Because I think if the field knows where corporate is focusing and those align, I think magic cannot kind of happen in a way. So share with a little bit about what you thought coming in, what was your focus, your direction, and maybe then we'll talk a little about where you are now and where we're going over the next year.
Yeah, thank you. So for me, it was I come in with some great experience, as many of you do, whether you've been in network marketing, whether you've been in the world a lot longer than me. And so I came in with my intention being to come in with the lens of experience, but come in fresh eyes, brand new lens of let's just absorb, let's really appreciate and have respect for the wonderful foundations that this company has, the incredible products and the wealth of talent, both in the field and the caliber of the executive team and the corporate team that I've met so far. And so for me, it was really about taking it all in, and I still continue to do that each and every day. So, learning, understanding what the challenges are from the field, understanding what the challenges and growth aspirations are from the corporate team and where they envision taking this market. And also then overlaying my experience and what I've seen work in the industry and what hasn't worked in the industry as well. And then how do we then amplify that to make that the PartnerCo story? Because for me, I'm not here to just come in all guns blazing with my experience and how I've seen things work before and just roll out a 2.0. Like, this is very much around crafting our journey, our story together through your experience, my experience, through our fresh experience, and collaborate together. So that for me was the biggest opportunity, and it's my biggest reminder each and every day, which is, okay, what have I seen work what have I seen work really well in the industry? Where do the strengths of PartnerCo lie? And how can we take that to the next level? I am not here to roll out something that I've seen work before. I want to use that experience to then go, okay, how can we be the best in the world? How can we take that to the next level? Let's break every glass ceiling that this industry has. Let's overcome every hurdle that this market also has seen, and let's think big. So that's really been like, I've been in, I think it's been, and maybe at 45 days in the industry, like in the company now, but very much like, it was very much around taking it all in, absorbing it. And now I'm starting, like, my desk is just covered in post-it notes of like ideas, but then, okay, then funneling that into where are our priorities and where do I see that going for us? How does that work for us? Because there's so many great ideas out there.
So true. And I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit tonight because James Lang didn't give me much direction. So I'm like, let's just have some fun. So I'll put you on the spot a little bit because you said two words. You said, challenge and strength, right? And I think when you come in, you almost have to have a consulting hat on in a way when you come into a company of this size, of this already success, but also a renewal of the brand, right? And so the reason I'm saying I'll put you on the spot is what's one challenge in the Australian market that you've identified as like, you know what, this is a challenge that I want to tackle. So that's one side. And the other side, what do you think the greatest strength is of Australia right now? I believe it's the ability for growth in Australia, but there could be something else that I'm not seeing. What's a weakness or a challenge that you're like, we got to really work on this, and I've got my eye on there. And then what's a strength that you just really want to kind of take to the next level?
Yeah, I think I love being put on the spot, and my brain's going like all these different ideas, all these different ways, because I must say the biggest weakness of this company is actually the biggest opportunity. And it's probably why each and every one of you are here. And that is that you probably had never even heard of PartnerCo. But then when you heard of it and you started digging, your eyes were completely lit, your eyes lit up, right? And that for me, I think our biggest weakness in this market is that we're that small and we are that undiscovered that we really don't resonate on any scale, on any platform, on any stage, on anything, right? If you talk to the industry, you know, I've been at the direct selling, like, you know, I've been on stage at DSA, I've been like in the room with DSA, I've sat on the board for them, you know, I've been involved in many companies. And when this person from the field rang me about PartnerCo, I was like, PartnerCo, let me think about it. I don't think I've ever heard of them. And then they talked to me about Noni, and I'd had a funny experience with Noni many, many, many years ago before I'd even joined the industry. I was like, okay, like, let me dig into this. Let me look at it. And now, like, even yesterday, I was going through, and I'm about to go to my first PXP, fingers crossed if everything aligns, in Japan next week. But what I'm seeing, as I was saying yesterday, looking at some of the events. So, you know, I was at the Marriott, the JW Marriott, where we're hosting our event next year. The caliber of what we do already is like far surpasses, I want to say, 80% of other companies out there, right? Far surpasses. But yet nobody knows about it. It's the best kept secret. And so my biggest opportunity is also our greatest weakness right now. And that is that we are so small and that we're not on the scale. But at the same time, what I'm seeing in the industry is this huge shift, away from, you know, the industry is feeling it right now. We had another company last week, you know, a wonderful direct selling company who now has decided to turn their model into online exclusive. You know, they don't need their brand partners anymore, which blows my mind. You know, it's and yet here we are, like, this is the greatest opportunity for us right now, is to collect all those people, as we are each, you know, we were each, you know, looking for something at some point in time, and why we found ourselves here, collecting all those people. So that's the opportunity. And we have so much to offer. We have incredible products. We have, you know, incredible events already. And now we're just about to really, I see it as just amplifying what we've got already for the next 12 months.
Yeah, and it's really amazing because you said that, and I've been in this industry for almost 2 decades, and if I went and asked 20 of my friends in the industry that have been in the industry for a decade or more, have you heard of PartnerCo? Probably 90% of them would have no clue. And it makes it so you can be really proud of the brand because it has that, startup feel, but with the foundation of a 20-year-old company. So I can literally, if we were in a startup company, we would just started a year ago, and I go out to my friends, I would never tell the name of the company because I know they don't know the name. But here, you could actually, when you're in conversation with people, and people are like, "Hey, Ted, what are you up to?" "Oh, we're going traveling over vacation. Work is great, and I just started with with a company called PartnerCo. Have you heard of it?" Most likely, no one's gonna have any idea what that means. And then you have all of the things to back it up, the products, the infrastructure, the teams, all those different things that you normally don't have in a startup. And I think it was a great segue to what we want to talk about here next. And then I want to open it up for some questions as well. Is, how do we get seen? And events are a great way to get seen. It's what Darren and John came in as soon as they purchased the company. They went on a road show, and they went, "We're going to meet with everybody." And I really think that's why PartnerCo is where it is today, because what they did in the first 12 to 24 months of this company's growth, of how much they really went into the field. So, Alana, maybe talk a
Yeah.
little bit about, we've got Discover events, we've got Connect coming up next year. Talk about like what this road show means, who's going to be there, who is it made for? Is it made for the brand partner? Is it made for the newest person? Talk a little about the Discover events and maybe rattle off some of the locations so people can write those down. And I know they can get the tickets inside the Facebook group and everything. But talk about Discover real quick.
Yeah. And I think first and foremost, like, the biggest opportunity right now is to, if I was to join a company in the field, it would be a company to the caliber of PartnerCo. And the reason I say that is because you're not out there, like, people ask me how many distributors we've got, and I'm like, it's really small. It's really small globally. Like, and that's an opportunity. You're not like, this is an opportunity to share that. And so these events, how we've catered these events is very much for that. So it's a little different to what we've done previously. This is about introducing, first and foremost, it's for all brand partners, obviously. So I'm going to be in the room. Lucy's going to be in the room. Lucy West, our VP of Asia Pacific, is going to be there. So she's coming from Florida. And the opportunity, and there'll also be all other brand partners in the room as well. The first part of it is to bring people in to really to meet and greet, to have an opportunity, the business connect part of the event. So that is an opportunity, what we're doing 5 to 6, come meet us, have a conversation. If there's somebody that you want us to have a conversation with, that is so it could be who should come to the room. It is the people in the room should be the people who are already brand partners, the people who maybe have been brand partners before and maybe dropped off, those people that are looking at the brand, so prospects that have not yet joined, but are looking, those people that are potentially looking for a new home, right? That is, they've been with the industry, they've been with somebody, with another company, and they're looking for a new home. So they're the people that I would introduce. Certainly, by all means, let me know of any of the people that you would love me to have a conversation with. Give me some background on them, and I'm more than happy to continue the conversation. So that's the Business Connect. Then we go into, I think, 7 o'clock or 6:30. Then we move into the conversation, which is around. This is around introducing the brand. So this is for anyone, customers. This is for brand new prospects. This is for anyone. It is more oriented towards testimonials around product, around brand, around the amazing origins of this company, rather than the business opportunity. We'll mention the business opportunity, but very much around, this is more around orientating people around the incredible results that they're going to get from these products. Right. So that is why they need to be in the room for that. But if they're looking at the business opportunity for whatever reason, get them in the room earlier. Let us have that conversation with them. And, the reason we're doing it informally for the business conversation is because each and every one of you and each and every one of your prospects have a different reason as to why you join a company. And so if I'm able to understand that information beforehand, or at least I can have that conversation, and Lucy likewise can have that conversation 1-to-1, 1-to-3, whatever that looks like, then it means that we're able to tailor the conversation and personalize it. And, the trend, the marketing, the brand trend right now is around personalization. The number one global trend right now is around personalization. The fastest growing industry right now is health and wellness. So how do we smack bang that together? And one of those things is around, let's not just do the generic presentation, because I don't want to hear about how I can earn $100,000 a year because I love my job and that's not of interest to me. But if you told me that I could get a holiday paid for every year, I'm in, right? Because I love travel. For somebody else, it's like, what lights them up? If they could get their private school education for their children paid for, perfect, right? Somebody else is like, I hate my job, like, get me out of the corporate world, like, this is what I want to do, so fast track me to $100,000 a year, like, get me there. I want to know how I will dedicate every living, breathing moment to this business to get me out of this. For somebody else, it's, there's so many whys, right? That's the reason for the business connect, the tailoring opportunity, the personalization. And this is the beautiful thing about our size. We're small, right? I wouldn't be able to do this with many other companies, right? Because you would just be a number. Your prospect would just be a number. So think of this as again, everything we do, flip it around. Yeah, we're small, but this is the opportunity. You could have the Vice President of Australia Pacific talking to a prospect of yours in the room, one-on-one, for 15 minutes. And that could get them over the line, as opposed to, there's only going to be 50 people in the room. Opportunity.
So it's so
Yeah.
massive, because we talk about that a lot. In the US and Australia, we're almost in the same type of boat in terms of opportunity and the scope of what can be possible. And we talk about a lot of similar things over here in the US too, because this is a timing in this company that won't last forever. One of the visions that Darren cast at PXP was he wants to have there's a huge sphere. If you've never been to Las Vegas or you don't know Las Vegas here in the States, there's this massive sphere that sits in the middle of Vegas, and like U2 plays there, massive concerts, and it holds 20,000 people. And Darren's like, we're gonna fill that within the next couple of years. That's their thinking. And so when that happens, will you be able to, be rubbing elbows with everybody and have, Darren or John or Alana or anybody talk to people that are brand new? It just won't be possible, literally, because there'll be so many people. And now you have that opportunity. And that's why the timing is so perfect, because you can walk somebody into a room and you can make them feel super special, that they're like, oh wait, this is different. And we'll always feel
Yeah.
like a family. It will always scale and continue to feel that way. But there is a certain point where Darren can't shake everyone's hand, kind of thing. Now they can. And so take advantage of that right now, especially with Alana and coming in and be like, hey, I need help with this person and that person. This is the time to go, who are those top 10 people that I would love to do business with? And then go,
Right.
how am I going to get them to these events? And that, I think, is the goal. So as we kind of come to a landing here, if there's any questions, I'd love for you to put in the chat. Any questions for Alana at all whatsoever, because I think she's a person that you can tell she has a vision. She knows where she wants to take this company, where she wants to take this market. But Alana, anything else in terms of the market, of maybe what's to come, or what's the project you're really working on right now to create kind of that buzz of the events to come out to it? What's the best way for people to handle that and then put their arms around that vision? Are you doing weekly online events? Are you doing things that people can plug into, leading up to that Connect event? What does that look like right now, as we get closer to the next event?
Yeah. Don't you hate that Apple have just created so many connections
Yes.
that you just don't know what the heck is going on? They're just confusing me. I've got, and I don't even know if that's charging. Yeah, that's charging.
There
Okay,
we go.
gosh. Okay. Um, so for me, so for me, I think that, like, first and foremost, take advantage of this time, right? Take advantage of this time of everything is small. You literally have, you can have John on speed dial. You can have anyone, right? Bring those people to your teams. Use them as best you can. Everyone is so available right now. So I can see Rick and Janine online right now. You guys have joined fresh, and I talk to you guys. Hi, I talk to you because I know your story, but it relates so much to so many other people who are on this journey right now. And that is, you have everybody at your disposal, right? So if I was you, if I was any of you, I would be literally building a plan, right, around how can I get every single one of the leaders of the global team online, training my team, inspiring new people, 3-on-1 calls, whatever that is. So my vision is to have that training program to the next level, right? Which is, how do we incorporate, I think that the biggest opportunity right now is for us, how do we take technology and bring that into the next level, which is, we have all these people around the world, right? And a few years ago, like pre-COVID, it was like, oh no, they're in the States, they're on this time zone, they're not available to us. And now it's like, this is our greatest opportunity. So I want to build a training program around having each of those people available globally, right? We have some incredible people in Europe. Believe it or not, like, Europe is actually bigger than America for us as a company. That's crazy for me to think that that opportunity then shows, we're just in our infancy. So the projects that I'm working on right now, there's so many of them, and I'm trying to really prioritize us. The one I want to make sure that we're building to the next level is that 30 days, getting everyone successful in 30 days, right? So what does that look like in terms of, when you join the company, whether you join as a customer or whether you join as a brand partner, it's like there is so much happening, right? And there is so much to learn. There's new language, there's new jargon, there's new acronyms, there's a compensation plan that usually is, so confusing. It's like, how do we break it down? But right information in the right hands at the right time. That's it. That's all I want to know. What do I need to do in the next week to be successful? What do I need to do in the next fortnight, month, right? So let's break it down. And so that's the project that I really want us to get on board with. And I know there's some great systems for growth around the world that Australia haven't yet tapped into. So how do we also use that and then tailor that to the Australian, New Zealand market? Because we are very unique individuals that, we don't like to be put into the global box. So how do we personalize that and tailor that? So I think that sort of, there's some of the unique things that I'm working on, as well as, some great global initiatives as well. I want to make sure that we have a global portfolio as well. You should be able to be talking about the products that you're talking about and talk about them to your team and not have to say, oh, sorry guys, and anyone that's here, that's online in Europe, sorry, we're just talking about this product that you guys don't have. Let's get global with our launches. So many things.
Well, I think too, I mean, one of the reasons that James asked me, he's on sabbatical this weekend because of his new baby. And so I took the call just because, again, we have so much synergy globally too. And I want to just mention that really quickly is that, the people that in Australia know people in the US, know people in Asia, know people in the UK. And one of the best parts for me when we were at PXP here in the United States was at the end, we announced that we were going to have PXP Dallas, right, in September 2025. And one of the things that all of the area vice presidents got on stage with, in a lot of companies, and you have a huge corporate experience, Alana, people kind of own their territories. Like my territory is going to be number one, and we're going to beat the United States, and we're going to beat Canada. And here's what they did. They all got on stage and said, we're going to beat everyone else. We're going to unite as a partnered company across not just we talk about the grayed out lines of sponsorship here. It's also the grayed out lines of how do you do this internationally where you don't have to learn everything about America. I don't have to learn everything about Australia, but how do we mesh that together? And I don't really believe, and Alana, correct me if I'm wrong, I have been in this industry for a long time. I've never really seen a company do that really well because there's kind of like pockets and Australia's over here and Canada's over here and the UK is over here. And I think PartnerCo has a really huge opportunity to kind of unite all of the continents into a true partnership. And so, one of the things I just wanted to kind of share with everybody on the call is we're here for you just as much as you're here for us. And if you have questions about the US market or any other markets, reach out to Alana. I'm connected to every VP, not because we have massive teams in every country. I just want to know what's going on so you can, as they say, dig the ditch for when the rain comes. And so investigate that and know who those area managers are because that's what this company is really about. Like Fina said, pure collaboration is what this company, and I've never seen it at the level of the executives and the leadership. And so you're just a really blessed time to have a lot of fun and like you said, develop those systems of growth and put your fingerprint on the company. Amazing, amazing, good times.
Yeah. Yeah. And learn from everybody as well. Like use those people because I know that I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but someone else might deliver that same message that I've said 3 times and they deliver it once. It's like it resonates with somebody. I used to use like 3-way calls all the time when I was in the field. And that's what I see the synergies in this company, which is like anyone crossline, it doesn't matter who they are they're not in your industry, your organization. But if James has got a story that resonates with somebody that you're talking to, then he's willing to jump on a call, and that's the wonderful thing about this industry. Same as like, John's so willing to make himself available to you guys. So, saying like Rick and Janine, like get all of the corporate team like lined up, get, James on a call for your calls every Monday night or whatever your team calls are, like have somebody different lined up. And, it might be just a different message that everyone might already know, but they hear it again for the next time. This is the wonderful thing about where we are in the industry, right? In our life cycle right now.
So true. And so any questions here for Allana? I know we've got some things going on in the chat, but I would love for if anybody wants to come off mute and just ask Allana a question. I know we kind of made this for about 30, 45 minutes. But again, if there's any questions and you're like, hey, I'd really love to just ask. And Allana said too, you can get personal with her. I know she said she said that in the chat. If you want to ask questions like, hey, what would you do in this circumstance? Or, how would I talk to this person? That's a really cool thing, is that not only does she have experience in the field actually building and enrolling people, but also at the corporate level of what's going on behind the scenes. And so that's a huge asset. So if you'd like to come off mute and you have questions, Fina, Stacy, Rick, Janine, anything you'd like to ask, feel free to come off mute, and we'd love to hear from you. It's an open forum.
Yeah, absolutely. And also at the same time, so the one thing that this is for any of you for events coming up, we've got all these events, so we're in Auckland, we're in Melbourne, we're in Sydney, and then the Super Saturday is happening in Brisbane, right? Whenever you're given an opportunity, and even when you're not given the opportunity, right, get yourself profiled as much as you possibly can, right? So your biggest opportunity, right, which is, so get yourself off mute right now, ask a question, right? Because the opportunity for me, like I've connected with Rick and Janine, right? I've connected with them. So now, like, I would probably do more for them than I would for somebody else that I don't know, that's faceless to me, that just, and so that is, how do you get profiled? And that is across the board. Like when the DSA say to me like, oh, we're not sure about, something, hey, let me help you with that. Let me give you my insight into it. Because what does that do? It profiles me and it profiles PartnerCo. Suddenly, so then the next time when I've got a challenge, which only this week I reached out to them and I was like, I want to talk to you more about this. I've already done something for them. I've profiled myself, and suddenly the CEO picks up the phone. Cool. Yeah, let's have a chat. Right. It wasn't a faceless email. It wasn't anything generic. It was like, so when someone says to you, and even if they don't say it to you at these events when you're there, right? Even if you don't get a chance to speak, put your hand up and ask a question. Make sure you introduce yourself to Lucy. Make sure you introduce yourself to me, right? Even that in itself, right? Create rapport with everyone and everyone.
Fina.
Hey, Allana, so good to see you back.
Now I can see, oh, there you are, Fina. Sorry, I was looking amongst the chat. How are you?
So great. I'm really well, thank you. So great to see you back, feeling well and really pretty. Thank you. I had a quick question. You did say that you have a lot of plans, a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas, and your desk is probably filled with post notes about what you plan to do. So if I can ask, what are the 3 things that you wanted to fast track in the next, say, 30 days or 90 days? 3 top things that you like to fast track.
Yeah, so great question. And right now, I've decided that I'm going to, I don't want to say, I've decided that I'm going to sit back for these roadshow events and look at what can I do come 2025, right? Because the next 90 days, I've set out the quarter 4 sales plan. So that was the first one that I set out, a strategic quarter 4 sales plan. And I wanted to make sure that that was in place because there wasn't a huge amount of planning. And I wanted to ensure that, we have some huge events coming up. Black Friday is a massive event in the direct selling space. So we need to take advantage of that. We need to be in there. So sales plans are one. Events are the other one. So attending the events for roadshows, sitting back, watching how PartnerCo do things, and then getting into full spirit when it comes to March, because we have this amazing event happening in March at the JW Marriott on the Gold Coast. I think the events are the 15th, 16th, 17th of March. Make sure you're there, right? So building the plans for the events, and then also making sure that the promotions and incentives are all worked up. So, and then there's probably the fourth one, which is the new product development, NPD, because that happens so far out, right? So we're talking about projects now that we're talking about for the next 3 to 4 years. And that was one of the first teams that I wanted to speak to when I joined the company, was like, tell me your plans, but also tell me like what's short term, what's medium term, what's long term. And so that for me is where I'm looking at, where is the impact that I can have right now on the company. Short term, I can't have a huge, like I can't change too much because a lot of the plans are already in place. So I've just gone over that with a fine tooth comb. And then now it's like, what's next for us in the medium term that I can have the impact on, whilst also having those things in the background, like new products.
Thank you
Does
so
that
much, Allana. Absolutely, absolutely, because that allows us to plan as well for the next 90 days, to just sink into what your vision is. So thank you so much, Allana, for that.
Welcome. I look forward to seeing you at the events.
Yeah, sure. Me too.
And I love that too, because when you're talking about, that 90-day plan, this is one of the few companies that I know that has a 100-year plan. And so each country is creating its own 5-year plan, 10-year plan, which doesn't really happen in the industry. I mean, you see a lot of craziness going on right now where like everyone's just slapping GLP-1 on their product and be like, oh, look, it's the next GLP craze. That's kind of what they're doing in here in America. And it's like, that's not what PartnerCo is about. PartnerCo is about you creating products that actually work and that are effective. And so we're not going to come out with Me Too products, and that requires more work than just slapping a GLP-1 label on the side and calling it, it's going to help you lose weight. And so here you have the opportunity to be that voice too. I put in the chat there, when people are, especially in a country like Australia, people over the next 12 months are going to be seeking out PartnerCo. We had this happen recently to us. People are looking to partner with people, and you want to be that voice. You don't necessarily need to go shout PartnerCo from the roof, but you want to be active. You want to be highlighted. You want to be on stage or close to stage or be in the pictures, because that's what people are looking for when they're out, I call in the real world, right? They're looking for those people like, is Rick showing up? Is Stacy showing up? They want people that are showing up, and they're going to find you if you do that. So incredible points, Fina. And any other questions? I see one question. Are we going to have surprises for the potential prospect to join us during the roadshow? Somebody asked. Any special surprises during the roadshow? And then I'll throw it over to you, Rick and Jean.
There's always incentives and reasons to be in the room for these events. So make sure that you have people in the room ready to go, ready to sign up. Absolutely. There's always surprises. There's always incentives. Yeah. And I will say, just further to that point that James just made, right, which is, do you know how many times I see people on Zooms, right, exactly like this? If you've got your gallery, I think it's gallery window where everybody's up, right? If you highlight this screen, right, get everybody's names where their names appear, screenshot it, put it on your stories, right? Put it onto your post, because you just never know who knows Amanda, for example, or where Danielle's come from, right? Tag those people, because that is your opportunity. You start building connections, you start building your profile, right? And it's like, hold on, let me talk about why I joined that company. Well, I've been wondering where Rick and Janine went, because, we know what this industry is like. You've got to just disappear for a while and you can't, talk to them, but suddenly you post and then it's like, oh, okay, so they've joined PartnerCo. Oh, I know Amanda. She's joined PartnerCo as well. Oh, James. Oh, that's where you ended up at PartnerCo. Okay. Let me look into this PartnerCo. What's this PartnerCo story about, right? It's every single piece of every single moment is a piece of content, right? And it's an opportunity to build engagement, right? And build excitement. That was my tip.
Massive. Rick and Janine, did you have a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that the support that is available is incredible, and it's something that's really refreshing to us to be able to reach out to corporate, you know, and have there's people all around the world that want to help us, and to make sure that everyone is successful, and it's just so refreshing. I just love it. That's what has, you know, really stood out for us.
It's set it apart, hasn't it? We've been around for a while, and it's relatively rare to find what we've found here, and I'm sure everybody on this call is finding the same. So we're very grateful for that, and also the opportunity then to enhance that and make it even more powerful and make the world aware of it is a pretty profound thing to be able to do, I think. So thanks a lot.
Fantastic. Thank you. And love seeing your growth. Well done.
Jody, did you have a question?
I do. Hi, Allana. Glad you're feeling better. Here I am.
Thank you, Jody.
Down in South Australia. Can't wait for you to come here.
And my parents will love.
Oh, I will. Where are they to? What suburb?
They're in Adelaide.
They're probably right. They probably live next door to me. My question is, I have obviously come from another company, and one of the biggest things in the last 10 months that really killed my business was lack of stock or out of stock. So I suppose I know the answer to this, but this is my question for other people who might not and might watch the replay. What is our contingency plan to make sure that we always have stock on hand? I suppose the foresight looking forward as to how many people are looking to join. We know that we're on a big run. We're small, but we're going to be big. Where do we sit as far as that goes and making sure we've always got stock in the warehouse?
Yeah, so we're doing all sorts of contingency planning right now. That's one of the things that I've looked at, you know, to make sure that we've got inventory, to also make sure we've got inventory coming, and also to see where our networks are, to see how quickly we can build from other countries, you know, like, you know, where is the areas that we can pull from if we need to, you know, closely, because we know that we're so far across the pond here. And so looking at that, that was one of my questions when I was talking to John and Darren in the very beginning was, you know, what does this look like? Like, have you really, you know, have you got your, have you got everything together, so to speak? You know, like, I want to make sure that this is not a company that, you know, talks the talk, but then can't back it up, because this is your reputations on the line. And ultimately it's my reputation as well. Like, exactly why I said, let me see the products, right? I want to see the products because I want to make sure that I'm putting my name to a company that, you know, that I am using the products and I'm proud to use the products, you know. And so making sure that we have that, and John and Darren gave me absolute confidence that, you know, that we've been through the pain, right? And probably some of you may have experienced that in the last, you know, 12 months, that, you know, there have been some terrible out of stocks, there have been some terrible situations, but now working to, you know, how can we ensure that we have that? So, you know, that's definitely on our plans.
Great question. Yeah, we experienced that in the US, but it was in a good way. We sold out of our newly formulated sugar stop in 2 weeks when we ordered 6 months supply. So it was a really good problem to have, to be honest. And now, again, going through these growing pains now before 2025, when I really think this is going to be the year all growth kind of goes like this. Good to get it out of the way now and get prepared for it. Stacey, do you have a question?
Hi, Allana. Thank you so much for the incredible introduction and everything. Your story has been amazing. It's mind-blowing, actually. And we are so grateful to have you with us. And yeah, we are so blessed, absolutely blessed to have you with us. Yeah, and I look forward to see you at the event for sure. My question is, apart from that, the stock that is going to be taken care of, is there a chance that we can have a faster delivery? Because, you know, a lot of customer has been, you know, bombarded me with, you know, where's my delivery? Yeah. So would that be an improvement in any way?
Yeah, one of my biggest things. And Stacey, which event are you coming to?
Sydney.
Sydney, fantastic. Okay, I look forward to seeing you there.
I'll bring my team with me as well. So a lot of us will be there.
Amazing, amazing. So in respect to that, one of the things that I'm also working on in the background at the moment, looking at our 3PL, so who our 3PL is, and in order to ensure that we grow, we need to make sure that our suppliers are growing with us, right? And so 3PL, I'm talking to them about, okay, this is what our orders look like now. This is what our delivery rate looks like. How do you handle this when it goes 300, 400, 500% increase, right? And how are you ready? How are you ready for growth? And at the same time, then, are you the right partner for us moving forward? So that is also, we're having those conversations as well, because ultimately, if we're not partnered with the right people, we need to make those moves now. We need to move quickly on that. And then also looking at what is the delivery experience. I'm a huge one for, you get one chance to make a good first impression, right? And so for me, like when I got my first box delivered to me, I was like, oh, okay. And I rang Lindsay. I was like, Lindsay, is this what a customer gets? And she was like, yeah. So, okay, like, let me tell you about my experience. I said, this is how I felt. I said, this was the opportunity for how you could have made me feel. It didn't make me want to get my phone out and say, like, who's the new company I'm joining? What's this new box I'm opening? It didn't make me want to do that, right? And so how, again, every moment is an opportunity. The delivery is an opportunity, right? The postman arriving,
Absolutely.
the courier arriving is an opportunity. So let's make that, right? Let's talk to people about the brand. Let's get them like connected with the brand from the very, very outset. So yeah, I'm looking at that, like from the joining experience, everything that we can possibly impact and change and improve, I'm looking at. And the first 30 days, that fits into that.
Excellent. Excellent. I love that. Yeah, I got the same feeling because like a lot of time the boxes came, it doesn't, we're promoting as a premium product and we're looking like a grand opening. But yeah, sometimes it does arrive as perfect, but often it's not. Yeah. So yeah, so grateful to have you. Yes.
Thank you, Stacey. I will say that there are very few companies out there in our space that are nailing it right now, right? For different reasons. And so, and if there is anyone that you see that is nailing it, by all means, let me know, because, I've had deliveries from most of them just to keep an eye on what they're doing and how they're doing it. So, how do we improve that? So I look, literally I've got boxes coming from outside of the industry. I'm forever looking at new brands, at new companies, and what are they doing? Their marketing, their branding, and their customer delivery experience.
Yeah, we absolutely have an absolutely great branding. I love all the branding that the company put up, especially the new marketing pieces. And if that can come across with the delivery and, customer experience and all of that, that will be really excellent for us. Thank you so much, Allana.
Well, and that's what we saw at PXP too, because you saw Mark Patterson, the amazing branding that he came out with in terms of new websites and the PDFs and the magazine and the catalog and the online catalog and all those different things. I think that's just a glimpse. I've seen some of the things he's working on. That's a glimpse into what this brand will become. And it's just going to be one of those things that we're going to be just so proud to represent the brand and wear the brand. And this hat like doesn't leave my head. It's on like all the time because I've had two people go, "What's that?" Like they think it's some symbol. And hey, have you heard of Better Together? That's how I actually talk about it now. When somebody goes, "What's that?" I go, "Hey, have you heard of Better Together?" No, what's that? Oh, that's a great conversation. So I know Amanda had a comment too that she wanted to make about the corporate relationship. Amanda, did you want to fill us in on that? Do you want to ask your question?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, just wanted to say thank you. So Allana, nice to meet you and nice to see everyone on the screen. So one of the things, I'll literally say I fell into network marketing for product. I was on a journey to become well after I got sick after my third baby. And it's been an interesting journey. It's sort of 9 years on, and I'm here because of Rick and Janine and Danielle Loxton and Dana and Amelia from America. And I think the biggest lessons that have been learnt is that open communication. We are a global business, and one thing you said, but Allana, is like knowing we can talk about our products freely and understand which countries they're in and ingredients and compensation plan wise, because it's all slightly different. But that's where the key comes down to connection, community, understanding, like corporate being there for us, but we're also there for corporate. Like corporate is our sounding board. Corporate is us in the trenches, in the digging with us as well, side by side. And that's what's been really important in my growth and journey, that we've always had someone there to be there to support us. And I think that transparency, there's, you know, we know where the goalposts are, we know they're not changing, and that support, I think that is the absolute game changer. And that's what I found straight away, because I'd never thought I was going to switch companies or go anywhere else. And I was literally begging at Rick and Janine to give me the link and stop playing games, because I wanted to know what they were doing. And here I am. And I actually have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm taking the products and it works. So that is just absolutely beautiful. And that's what's so amazing about that. But if you've got the support, you've got the tools, you've got the products, and there's no surprises. But if we've got the heads up, if there is issues, I suppose then we can manage expectations. We can have those honest conversations and position things in a way that it never has, you know, you never bottom out completely. You can have those conversations easily. And I suppose that's what I want to say to corporate and partnering with everyone, that we've got your back and we're looking forward to working with you as much as you're looking forward to working with us, as we can see already. So thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you. And I think going back to James's point as well, and echoing what you're saying, Amanda, you know, is that everything is an opportunity as well. So when we do have out of stocks, because, you know, Sugar Stop sold out in 2 weeks. So there's an opportunity. That's a marketing opportunity as well. Like, sure, it sucks behind the scenes. You're like, yeah, okay, that's not great. But with corporate, we can work together to strategize around, okay, what do we do? But use that also as a marketing opportunity, because that again creates that FOMO, that again creates that energy and that momentum. And I do truly believe that when everyone works in the same, like it moves in the same direction, and that's where I've seen the biggest success happen, is that when everyone starts moving in the same direction and moving positively, then that's where we can get the greatest impact. And that comes with corporate being completely transparent with the field. It's not always what you want to hear by any means. And I always say, be careful, you know, be careful. I'll give you the answer to the question all the time, but be careful of the question you ask me, because sometimes it won't be the answer that you want to hear, right? But you need to have that, right? And exactly the same as I need that, you know, and we come from a position of complete respect, right? Which is, we might not always see eye to eye, but it always comes from a position of respect. And in doing the best for the company and the best for your business and for me and my intentions, you know, for this market as well, you know, making sure that we're working together.
And that's massive. I think this is one of the few companies I've ever seen where the executives actively reach out. Like, they don't wait. They're like, hey, what do you think? And what do you think? And should we do this? And should we do that? And the company really has layers of leadership. So if you're new here, know that you're also protected. You're protected with a leadership council. You're protected with a founders club. You know, it's not just some person in their ivory tower making decisions. It goes through real established layers of leadership. And know that your interest is always at the best of heart. So just know that too, as that communication, you're like, oh, why did they reach out to me? Know that they had to go through someone to make that decision. You know, Allana just doesn't make the decision. She makes it with Katie, with Darren, with John, with Lucy. It's all a decision, even though they do have power in the territory. But if it's going to affect anyone's business overall, they talk about everything from day one. And that's huge. And now they want to involve everyone else in that conversation when it's right. And the best time, like you said, Allana, is at events. You know, that's where you're going to make these connections. We were on a call the other day, and, you know, we can do these Zooms all day long and we can talk to each other and chat and all this kind of stuff. But if you're within 4 or 5 hour drive of any of these events, get to them as fast as you possibly can, because that's where you're going to actually create relationships, not business ships. Like, when you're on Zoom, you're in business ships with people. People can leave, they can quit, they can do all that stuff. It's just a Zoom. When you give somebody a hug and shake their hand, and break bread with them, it's a different level of a relationship. So yes, it's great to come to the event, get the freebies, the takeaways, you know, the special stuff, but it really comes down to relationships, because that's what this company is really about. So Allana, close us out here. What do you want to say to everyone that joined tonight? And you can close us out, and we'll end the call.
Yeah, thank you, James. And I think just to echo, I just want to say that one point, when you're in the room, and I know I've said it a few times, and you know, the opportunity also, find who the council is, right? Who's the partner council members that are in the room with you as well. Introduce yourself. They might not be your upline, right? But if you have direct line into them, you know, many of you have direct lines into the US, for example, have direct lines into the Australian and New Zealand Partner Council as well, right? This is again another opportunity to introduce yourself and have those relationships, because those people are incredibly open and want to work with people. And I want to hear feedback, right? I want to grow with people. And, you know, the more that we know, we have a really small team at the moment. So, you know, get in front of those people. So, you know, this is your biggest opportunity. And I really like what you say about that business ship. You know, I was only reflecting on, you know, some of the, you know, with previous companies, actually with the previous company I was with was all online, like was remote. But the company prior to that, we had an office, and, you know, 45 staff in an office, head office, you know, in Australia. And it was, I have relationships with those people, honestly, that, you know, again, because I broke bread with them every day, right? We, like, from morning to night, like, we pretty much spent every moment together. And the relationships that I have with those people as a result of that. So then when things like when I am online or when I am remote or whatever that is, so use that as your analogy of the events, right? How do you get into the office environment to build those relationships, so when you do go back to, you know, your remote world, it's you have those connections, you can pick up the phone. And the opportunity is with, you know, being in the room from the very start of the event. So get there early. Use that as an opportunity. If you need to travel, then, you know, use it as a chance to, you know, have lunch with somebody, have afternoon tea with somebody, you know, connect with whoever you possibly can. Host your own events, right, while you're there. Bring as many people as you can to these events as well. You know, do whatever you possibly can to make sure that you're in the room for the events. The events are all online. You know, check out the Facebook group, check out the last what's in the know call as well. All the information is there, but I'll also we'll also make sure that we drop them out into Facebook again as well for you. Facebook isn't the best place to stay connected with everything, I think, in my opinion. So make sure you're at the events, make sure you send everyone to the events, and keep me in communication, keep Lucy in communication, keep Lindsay in communication in regards to any of those people that you want us to make a special effort with. Remember, it's your opportunity for personalization as much as it's my opportunity for personalization. Okay, so, you know, do whatever you can. And I think in closing, I think, you know, the greatest thing that's come out of this is that we need hats in Australia, because we don't have any. And there's the demand for Sugar Stop and hats in Australia right now. So
There's the
but thanks.
opportunity.
Exactly. But I and genuinely appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on this call, no matter what it is that you've had to, you've prioritized this over everything else. So I genuinely thank you for that, for showing up. For those of you that had your camera on, fantastic. I love that I got a chance to see you, and for those of you that that turned your the audio on as well and had a chat with me as well, thank you. James, thank you so much for making yourself available as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Allana. Show some love to Allana in the chat there for everything that we went over today. And this will be recording. We'll make sure we put it into the chat we have there on Facebook, so you can share this with people and really just get people out to the event. You know, let's build those relationships, not just business ships. And like a lot of people have said tonight, we're always better together. So thank you so much for your time, everybody, tonight, and have a great one, or a great morning, actually. Bye for now.
Bye,
All right.
guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.